Bipartisanship, by the way, so often applauded by the mainstream media when bipartisanship is accomplishing something bad. Mainstream elites love to applaud squishy rhino Republicans for joining with liberal Democrats to raise spending or increase regulation or save a government program. That's the kind of bipartisanship the media loves. What they don't like so much is the bipartisanship that sometimes happens at the outer edges of the left and the right, when figures like Thomas Massie and AOC come together and say, wait a minute, let's not rush headfirst into another war without thinking this through and checking in with whether the citizens of America want that. Yet I expect most people much prefer this kind of bipartisanship. I certainly do. As for Trump joining Israel and attacking Iran, I would like to remind our president that 10 years ago, when he first appeared on the political scene, he became super popular, not with the elites, but with the rank and file Republicans, because he dared to say that party leadership, that the Republican president George W. Bush, they were all wrong about Iraq. Here's a refresher, one of the debates in the 2016 election cycle.
The war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Obviously, it was a mistake.
So
George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
Now, you can say Iran and Iraq are different countries, and the circumstances are different, and that is true. If Iran hawks want to make their case, look, they have the floor. But you have to convince the American people. And regardless, Congress has to do its job, even if they don't want to, which seems to always be the case these days. So it's very simple. We should debate this in the halls of Congress like our founders intended and let them vote.
I was nodding the whole time.
I saw you.
They have my nodding camera, me off camera. Yes, no, totally. Look, I'm old, so I'm 49. I remember this debate happens. Every president, bipartisan, doesn't want to go to Congress to get an authorization of use of military force. I mean, I feel like Tim Kaine, ever since he's been in the Senate, has been like banging the drum of like, why are we not doing this? And every time they're like, well, it's not exactly a military we're just going in for a little while.
Right.
You know, like, it's ridiculous. And, you know, I would add, Robbie, like, this is, whether you like Donald Trump or you don't like Donald Trump, the reality of Donald Trump's first, 5.5 months as president is rapid and radical expansion of executive power.
Yes.
This is another case of that. And Congress, Republicans in Congress, in leadership, being like, okay, so I guess we're getting rid of USAID. Oh, okay, well, I guess we're getting rid of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Oh, so the Department of Education gone. Again, in the Constitution.
All of those things I support, but Congress needs to act.
This is my point.
I agree with you.
Look, when you have a Republican majority in the House and Senate and you have a Republican president, Republicans should do conservative things. Yeah. That's why we have two parties in this country. But when you abrogate the processes that are in place, you set a tremendously dangerous precedent. I mean, I don't know how you don't draw that conclusion.
I don't know what you do with the government. We talk about the crisis of democracy. What do you do in the situation where Congress, where your chief lawmaking body, has simply no interest, for the most part, in doing their job? It's not like they're all out there protesting the loss of their authority and power. They seem, for the most part, happy to have it taken from them so they can spend more time being pundits on television and on social media.
Raising money, raising their.
That's all they want to do.
And it's
endless committee hearings.
The incentive structure is all screwed up.
Yeah.
But again, I always cite, and I'll cite one on both sides. Like if you had to name 5 of the most that not people like us, but normal people would know. Name 5 members of Congress the average person would know. I'm not sure they get to 5, but I guarantee you, in the first 5 are Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ilhan Omar. And a lot of people would probably say Matt Gaetz too, even though he's not in Congress anymore. Well, none of those people do anything in Congress. Mm-hmm. They just bang the drum and, raise money, go on TV. And that's part of the problem. But what's amazing to me is that they're not even trying. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, you are ceding. It is a co-equal branch of government. It's right there in the Constitution. I remember, again, I'm old enough to remember the old, after 94, the pocket constitutions that everyone was carrying.
Oh, my people.
That's right in your wheelhouse.
My people. And even with Iraq, there was a vote taken. There was a debate had.
And it mattered. I wrote this down, right? So go back.
It mattered for Hillary Clinton.
I was going to say, if Hillary Clinton does not vote for the war in Iraq, she almost certainly beats Barack Obama.
For sure.
The only logical explanation for Obama's candidacy, right, because he had just been elected, I was right in the beginning. I saw that video of him saying, I oppose the war. He's at a rally in Chicago or something. They played that. That was his sort of lever to get in the race. If she doesn't vote for it, it doesn't happen.
I was a student. I was at an undergraduate at the University of Michigan at the time. And he was beloved for that reason. A lot of other reasons too, but that was the main reason.
But that was the spark. And I think people don't remember that. That was the spark that got this all started.
No wonder they don't want to be on the record.
Exactly.
Voting one way or the other.
They don't want to be on the record. All right. Anyway, next up, President Trump's one big beautiful bill. OBBB, is it in jeopardy? Republicans are clashing over it, and voters don't seem too hot on it either. Republicans are clashing over the Senate's version of the one big beautiful bill, and to make things worse, the public doesn't actually seem to be on board with it.
In a nutshell, the arguments revolve around the Senate's increasing Medicaid cuts, easing up on the green energy tax credit rollbacks, and lowering the state and local tax or SALT deduction cap. Congressman Chip Roy told reporters yesterday, "My main takeaway for you guys is this bill, as the Senate has produced it, is definitely dead if it were to come over to the House in anything resembling its current form."
Democrat-turned-Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey told The Hill that he's most concerned about the Medicaid cuts. "This is political stupidity. It's political suicide," Drew said. "Why would you hurt these people?" Van Drew told The Hill. "There are a lot of working, poor, blue-collar people. There are people now, they were part of this new Republican Party, and we should make sure that they're safe not only for political reasons, but also for the right thing to do."
CNN pollster Harry Enton broke down how the big, beautiful bill may even hurt Republicans in the midterms.
We're talking about a negative 41 net favorability rating among independents in the center of the electorate. You rarely ever see pieces of legislation or proposed pieces of legislation as unpopular as this. But here you see it in two polls, 26 points underwater and 29 points underwater. No good.
White House spokesman Kush Desai told Axios in a statement, President Trump pledged to protect Medicaid, eliminate taxes on tips and overtime, slash wasteful spending, extend his historic 2017 tax cuts, and implement pro-growth policies to usher in the historic job, wage, investment, and economic growth that Americans experienced during his first term. The one big, beautiful bill will do just that. The American people don't seem to think so, and neither do I. I've been raging against the big, beautiful bill. Me and Elon campaigning against this thing from the right. I
Good
hate
company.
it. Yes,